Welcome to the Eric Avasar Show. Time to talk about one of the most difficult games I have ever had to watch as a Virginia Tech football fan. The Hokies, who were almost 30-point favorites heading into Norfolk to take on Old Dominion, suffered a humiliating, embarrassing defeat to the Monarchs, falling 49-35 on the road. This is an ODU team that lost by 42 points to Liberty just 3 weeks ago. It's shocking. It's terrible and hopefully not devastating. We'll know if this loss was devastating next week when Virginia Tech takes on Duke. But at the end of the day, it's not just the loss, but how the Hokies lost. Crumbling under adversity, the team potentially losing its starting quarterback with Josh Jackson suffering an ankle injury that looks like it has the potential to keep him on the sidelines for an extended period of time. But look, as much as this loss hurts, it means absolutely nothing in terms of the ACC title race. Virginia Tech still 1-0 in conference play. After a loss like this, though, you really have to be very critical of Virginia Tech's chances of winning the Coastal Division, certainly. But what really hurt in terms of watching the game as a fan, I'm sure what hurt Justin Fuente as head coach the most, was seeing this team commit 4 personal foul, unsportsmanlike penalties over the course of the game, all of which were at, mind you, very important points in the matchup as well. Going back to Josh Jackson, he played a terrible game even before he got hurt. I mean, that interception he threw was atrocious. He went 8 of 16. Yes, he did throw a couple of scores, but I think it's pretty clear at this point that Jackson has regressed. He has taken a step backward since his impressive first year as starting quarterback last year. The problem here is Ryan Willis doesn't exactly inspire confidence, and while Hendon Hooker is a phenomenal talent, he hasn't grasped the playbook to the extent that the Virginia Tech coaches expect of him. So the Hokies might now be in a situation where they have no quarterback that they can truly rely on this season. So that makes things very challenging. Hokie fans had reason to be optimistic when they opened up the scoring with a huge touchdown run from Stephen Peoples, who had a pretty good game. 150 yards on the ground and 2 scores. He's one of few Hokies who can be happy with their performance. The same can be said for Damon Hazelton, who had 154 yards receiving and a touchdown grab himself. But Virginia Tech could not keep Jonathan Duhart out of the end zone. He had 3 touchdown catches. Some of the plays he made were simply sensational. And, Virginia Tech definitely did not look deserving of the DBU moniker today. The secondary was the biggest reason why they gave up 49 points. Jeremy Cox, running back for ODU, killed the Hokies on the ground with 130 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. I mean, the Hokies were thoroughly outplayed in all 3 phases of the game. It's a bitter defeat to swallow when you consider how heavily Virginia Tech was favored. ESPN Stats and Info called it the biggest upset the ACC has suffered to a non-conference opponent in the past 40 years. This one could sting for a while, but it's going to be a major test of character for the Hokies and how Justin Fuente and company can get these kids prepared, because Duke is going to be a tough matchup. The road does not get any easier from here for the Hokies. Just have to hope that they can right the ship like they have done in the past after devastating losses. They've been able to do so successfully, and hopefully that standard that Frank Beamer set can continue with the new generation. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel.